Today's word is discernment, not deferment.
Today's word is garbage. Mr. Robinson doesn't like garbage in his shoes.
It's discernment. If you don't know what discernment is, we all have the ability to tell basically if something's bullshit or not. And some of us really have a bad BS meter. Some of us, I think, a lot of people out there, they just conveniently abandon it when they need to, and they kind of look the other way. It's pick and choose. They play pick and choose with things, and that's a game you're just never going to win. At some point, my heart used to break too when I started finding out all these Hollywood things, and you always know that there was some shit going on with these celebrities, and we're never going to know it all. We're never going to know all the details. There are secrets that will be kept and that are being kept. We are pawns in this. We're just the attention. They thrive off our energy and our attention and our money. But discernment, being able to tell if you're being lied to or fucked with in any way, shape, or form, being able to tell if something is truthful or not. Not necessarily knowing the exact answer, but just knowing that whatever you're being shown is definitely not the right answer. And that opinion isn't based on you just not liking whatever it is. Just because you don't like something doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Just because you don't pay attention to something or you choose to ignore it, it doesn't mean that it doesn't still exist. There's your discernment. I always say no. The smartest people know that we don't really know anything for sure. We don't. All these facts are just regurgitated things that you can't see gravity, but you got to take their word for it. You can't see space, but you got to take their word for it. And I know some people are going to go, Jay, there's so much. You can go back and forth either way. That's not what this is about. This is tapping into that gift. And a lot of us aren't doing it, or we haven't done it. For years, I would, if you're always drunk all the time, I was always partying and drinking and in the bands and messing with, so I would always kind of, conveniently ignore the things in life I didn't like, like I knew that drinking was a problem and making me unhealthy, but I looked the other way because at the time it felt good. It cured my hangovers. It gave me confidence I didn't have. But that's insane. Alcohol is, at the levels I was drinking, it's harmful for even a healthy person, let alone someone with a pacemaker. That was just dumb. So eventually, you can't run and hide from these things. They will catch up with you. And if you can just have the discernment to know, I need to eat healthy. I need to drink more water every day. I need to not hang out with that person because they're a shithead. I need to not pay attention to politics because it's fake and it's staged bullshit to control my time, and nothing changes. So why don't I just pay attention to my own life and choose that instead? That's discernment. Discernment is knowing when you're basically pissing in the wind. I've done it too. You're just on this cause because of your emotion. And when you break it down, like, you don't know these people, you don't know these celebrities, you don't know, we don't even barely, these are all actors. Even if you're a basketball player, you're a president, you're still an actor. Like, they act as that role and they sway everything to make you feel a certain way. It's all for your attention. None of that stuff is going to make a damn difference in your little life. None of those votes, none of those protests. If you haven't noticed by now, none of that works. In fact, it makes it a lot worse. So discernment. Do you think when a normal deer, I hate to say normal, but a typical deer that's brown, and they see an albino deer, what do you think they see? Do you think that brown deer is judging the other deer? That brown deer sees another deer. Do you feel me? They do everything on this square and this rectangle to mess with that mechanism, to mess with your discernment, to try to steer you with your emotion and say, no, these are different deer. He's a different deer than him. He's an illegal deer. He's a black deer. He's a white deer. He's a racist deer. He's a whatever deer. They've gotten to the point where they've altered a lot of people's ability to discern what's right and wrong, what makes even sense, what even makes common sense. If you haven't found out by now, if you haven't realized by now, I don't know how I got on this topic, but it's not about race. It's about status. It's about power and money. Otherwise, we're all exactly the same. I'll be honest. I'm going to piss off some people out there, but I don't want to. But I'm sick of white people. Honestly, I'm sick of being around white people all the time. I like to hear different points of view. I like to hear different humor. I like to hear just different ways people do things. I love the diversity. The diversity is the best part of life. I've been a musician since I was 15 in high school. I play with all kinds of musicians, male, female, black, white, Hispanic, Korean. And even when I say these things, I'm cringing at hearing myself say it, because we shouldn't be saying any of these. Oh, you're black human. You're a Polish human. You're a black human. You're a Hispanic human. That's all these labels they gave us, man. These are all just characteristics. And you got to be able to have the discernment to see that this is silly. You can't get mad. I sometimes go into places where I feel guilty just for being white. And I know that it ain't because of me personally. These people don't know me. They don't know me at all. And I understand that they've been fucked with. They've been programmed to not like me just based on what I look like. I give people, it's so messed up right now. That's why I'm doing a video like this, to try to wake up some people who are maybe afraid, or they're in some groups where they're afraid to just stand up and be I hate to say the non-racist, but just to be the common sense person in the room. Just to say, wake up, like, who cares? Like, I don't know about you, but I get bored, like I said. Not that I hate white people. I like the diversity. When I'm around the same kind of people with the same thinking, they celebrate the same holidays, it's boring. I mean, if I probably looked at the subscriptions I have, I would probably say 50% of them are, and I'm not going to say African American. It's ridiculous. Black people, black colored people. And I hate even saying that, but I have to differentiate from my example here, which is crazy. We're all just humans, man. A deer sees a deer. I see you know what I mean? And I was just talking to Rachel today. We were talking about Isaiah Thomas. There was a special on today. Isaiah Thomas, when he came out, this was in the 80s, he came out and he made an emotional statement after a game as a young guy, as a young black man who's also been programmed and fooled, and steered. We all have been. So he said something emotional. Oh, if Larry Bird was if he was black, he'd be just another good player. And he retracted it. And guess what? Larry Bird didn't even get offended by it. He actually came out himself and sat right next to Isaiah Thomas and said, I don't care, so I don't know why you guys care.
Again, the black players knew he could play. That wasn't the problem. It was just that they thought he was a little overhyped, something that Isaiah Thomas and Dennis Rodman were not afraid to say. It was the 1987 Eastern Conference Finals. The Boston Celtics and the Detroit Pistons had just gone through a heated playoff war. Larry Bird, already a 3-time MVP at that point, torched Dennis Rodman in Game 7.
Let's be real. It's probably the first time in Dennis Rodman's life that a white guy tuned him up on the basketball court.
Dennis Rodman just went to Larry Bird University.
After the game, emotions ran hot. Rookie Dennis Rodman was asked about Bird's performance and said that Bird was very overrated and that he had won 3 straight MVP awards only because he was white. Certainly a bold statement, but what really fueled the controversy was what his teammate Isaiah Thomas said when asked about it shortly after.
A very, very good basketball player. I think he's an exceptional talent, but I'd have to agree with Rodman. If he was black, he'd be just another good guy.
Instantly, backlash erupted. Many saw it as a disrespectful shot at one of the game's greatest talents. Larry didn't have much to say about it.
I can remember in the locker room, I think it was Jack McMullen came up to me and said, Isaiah just said, boom, 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 boom. And I go, so?
Magic reportedly called Bird and made it clear that he did not agree with Isaiah. Isaiah was forced to clarify his comments. He held a press conference with Bird just days later. He publicly apologized and said that it was just a joke, that the remark wasn't meant to be taken seriously, but the damage was done, or at least it would have been if Bird himself hadn't stuck up for him.
Now here's the beauty of it. Larry, you had my career right in the palm of your hands. Had you handled that press conference differently, you could have just But this is what this man said.
If the statements or whatever was said doesn't bother me, I don't think it should bother any of us.
Now, before you guys gang up on Isaiah for what he said, in my opinion, it's kind of hard to get riled up about it when even Bird himself often said similar things, almost as if he agreed.
You know, the great players are the black players, and they're the best.
I mean, why else would there be multiple stories of Bird saying that he felt insulted whenever a white guy was guarding him? Apparently, he felt he was so dominant that he only wanted black players to guard him. Anything less was viewed as a sign of disrespect.
We have to have the discernment, just like Larry Bird did, and just like Isaiah Thomas had. After, we're going to make mistakes, and the people who control this whole circus are 24/7 trying to manipulate your and mine discernment, so that we can't have common sense. So we can't just, until somebody like me just speaks up and says, "What are we doing?" It's silly. I hate even talking about it, but it's so prevalent, and it's just so unnecessary. So I thought to myself, what makes me different? I guess I do have this. I'm able to tap into my discernment and tell you're either a good person or a bad person, regardless of color, regardless of background, regardless of wealth status, because some of the biggest shitbags in the world are the richest. So just because they're squeaky clean looking and have money, they're not dickbag, they're not an asshole, they're not some of the most evil, vile ghouls on this earth. Come on. And I can't trust anything for me personally. So my discernment, if I don't feel 100% about something or pretty damn close, I'm not going to endorse it. I'm not going to endorse voting, let alone a party. I can't endorse none of that. Personally, I could never get behind that. I want to support everybody. Old, young, black, white, Hispanic. Like, I don't give a shit. You're here illegal? Well, are you here to do harm or are you here to do good? We should all be free to roam about this world. Now, the way it's set up now, yeah, we got to do some checks. We got to have security. We got to make sure that we don't have bad people coming in. But geez, don't we want the good ones coming in? Maybe we should get rid of some of the bad Americans that are here and ship them to Mexico. Anybody ever think about that? It's just, where does it end? So your discernment should tell you, common sense should tell you, I'm not going to endorse anything unless I know. I'm not going to put my name and my soul and being behind something unless I'm full for it. And so there's not many things I feel that way for besides family, besides a very few select close group of friends. You know, and some silly things that whatever, it's silly. There's guitar players I like, bands I like, but that changes too. If I find out they've been doing some evil bullshit, I don't listen to the music anymore. I can't support them. I can recognize the talent, but I'm not going to, I'm a grown boy. I'm a grown man. I don't need to listen to some band anymore if it's evil or if it's, you know, bringing up negative shit. I don't need that. There's a ton of music. Movies I won't watch anymore. It's just the way it is. I change my opinion all the time. I am not a part of, I believe in the Creator. I believe in the teachings of Jesus. I don't personally worship Jesus. I don't have any certain religion that I follow anymore, and I probably never will. Could that change? I don't know. Anything could change. But I know how religions are set up. So whether it doesn't matter which one it is to me, it's all a way to control a region of the world. So I just go directly to the Creator, and I do meditation, and it works for me, and it's amazing. I feel like everyone should do it. Even if you are, you know, even if you pray, I mean, you can meditate too. It's not evil. They tell you that so you don't do it because it's powerful. I mean, there's discernment again. Jesus used to meditate. Go look it up. It's not going to be in your Bible either, so you got to dig. And believe whatever you want. I don't care. You don't got to believe me. I will never be a part of a religion or a sports team. I guess that's harmless to a point, you know, but if I don't believe in something, I'm not for it. I'm just going to be not for it. There's very few things at 46 years old I endorse anymore. Like I said, it's family, myself, and my beliefs. The people that are close to me. I stand up for people who are in actual need of help and who are down and out, great people. I endorse them. I stand up for them. You know, I'm constantly looking for different ways to give back and always trying to do what I can, even though I'm not exactly rolling here. We all have something to give. We all have our time, our compassion, closet full of probably half brand new clothes you never wore. You can give that to somebody. share what you have, and whether it's knowledge, a good thought. I mean, you could click off this, anything on. I mean, if you didn't like this, you clicked off long ago. And if you connected to it, or you just wanted to hear more what I had to say, you listened, and hopefully, I'm either reaffirming something or maybe opening up another door in your mind to say, "Wow, I never thought of it that way." That's why we're all here to share. Share your experience. Start a little YouTube channel, even if it's once a week, and maybe just voice your opinion and voice how you see things and ask some questions. I'm always digging. I always want to know how people are thinking or how we could have a better society, or, you know, we got to help each other. So discernment should tell you that we got to help each other, no matter how old you are, how young, if you're different, even if you're a different religion, even if the person's mean to you, help them anyway. Help them anyway. I'm going to tell you something. I learned this not that long ago, but you'd be surprised, even if it's somebody who you'd think is an enemy of yours or somebody who doesn't like you, and you still help them out and just keep it egoless with no trying to get nothing back in return. You can change some hearts out there. You can change some bitter folks, and there's nothing to be bitter about. This life, we're here in a flash. Whether you got $10 or $10 billion, you ain't gonna take it. The soul is just here for a minute. I don't know. It might come back. I don't know how that all works yet. But I believe that part of you, the part of me that's making this YouTube video now, it's not once this body's dead. That's not gonna die. That's force. That's the force of life that keeps going. It's never ending. So the universe is experiencing everything through all of us. So give it a good show, right? Go all out, do something crazy, do something fun, as long as you're not hurting anybody. And don't be afraid to speak up. That's been my biggest thing. Even talking now, I still feel like I didn't say anything bad. I'm speaking my heart, and I'm hoping others relate. And if I'm wrong, tell me how I'm wrong in a nice way. We got to be able to speak. We got to be able to communicate. We can't be screaming at each other. We're not going to get anywhere that way. So coffee, discernment, and guitars, humor, and some great music. Do what you like.